Welcome, everybody. I am hyped to talk about Cofagrigus. I got some awesome buffs to get into, but quickly, right before I get into the type changes, I want to have a little disclaimer. If you are new here and you just happen to be clicking on this video, don't be overwhelmed with all of the new stuff. It's very easy to check all of these changes out in the description below. There are 600 plus move buffs and changes, as well as 130 plus custom brand new moves that you can view organized into categories in the description below on this tab here on the bottom. It's from the Google Sheet, and it says search all moves here, and you can check out all of the moves as you scroll through all the Pokemon buffs and changes so far. There's a bunch of other useful Google Sheets on there as well, like type chart, held items, abilities, speed tiers, all that good stuff. So give that a look if you have yet to do so, and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. If you're going to go ahead and do that, I would appreciate it. Just hit 1K, so I thank everybody for that. But that being said, Cofagrigus, no Ghost Steel typing. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people want Cofagrigus to be Ghost Steel. Gold, excuse me, is technically a metal, I believe. So Ghost Steel technically works. But my thing, two things. Number one, kind of broken. Number two, we already have a Ghost Steel, Aegislash. Number three, in this ROM hack, I have successfully had every single type combination, not just like in Gen 8 or 9, I mean in Gen 7. So with all the Pokemon in Gen 7, I have covered every single type combination. And there was no Ghost Rock type, obviously. I think there still isn't any Ghost Rock type. And the only other candidate for a Ghost Rock type was Mega Sableye. And I don't love that idea. I think Cofagrigus fits it much better. And the benefit here of being a Ghost Rock type is that you get the Spadef boost from Sandstream, which is a really cool ability that I think fits them very well. I know I just had Sandstream Crustle and I had Sandstream Gigalith. Gen 5 just happens to have a bunch of Sandstream Pokemon in a row because of the Desert Resort and stuff. Speaking of, I love this music. It's one of my favorite Pokemon tracks. But anyway, yeah, that's why I went with Ghost Rock over Ghost Steel. If it was Ghost Steel, I'd probably have like Levitate or something boring. And I don't know. Mummy is reworked as a Porygon 2 signature ability, so it wouldn't even have Mummy anymore. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of Ghost Steel. It's very strong. It would be incredible. I prefer Ghost Rock with Sandstream and the beautiful, incredible bulk and move pool that Cofagrigus now has, and he's also very strong. So obviously, you get that giant 50% boost to your Spadef from Sandstream, so despite not getting a Spadef buff directly, it obviously got one with Sandstream. And that makes up, his immense bulk makes up for the shitty typing, because, I mean, I personally wouldn't use the word shitty, and a lot of people are like, Ghost Rock sucks, it has a lot of weaknesses, therefore it's bad. And it does have a lot of weaknesses, and that's why it's nice that you have this insane bulk with 88 HP, 145 defense, and 105 Spadef boosted by Sandstream. He's super, super tanky, and you can even run an Assault Vest set and still get healing with Soul Absorb. Soul Absorb is Nightshade, but it heals you as well by the same amount that you deal. So say, for example, you're level 50, you deal 50 damage, you heal 50 HP. Very, very good. So that would work great on an Assault Vest set. Same with Ancient Power, that gives you Spadef now, gives you a +1 Spadef boost now, as well as, of course, attacking. So that would work with Assault Vest. So you can run Volt Switch for a switch move on Assault Vest set. So with AV with 0 Spadef investment in the sand, max HP, max special attack, or max HP, max defense or something, you are immortal. Your weaknesses don't even matter. You live forever. Obviously, that's just one set. There's a billion, literally infinite sets that you can run in game, because this works kind of like Draft League, where you're preparing for every single boss fight with whatever you have ahead of you. Speaking of, the HP stat, by the way, I didn't mention yet. Yes, he did get an HP boost, because he is Ghost types in general had shitty HP, but I envision HP as size, relatively, not perfectly. It's not a one-to-one comparison, but I try to base it a little bit more on size now. And Cofagrigus is a pretty giant coffin, so 88 HP works. And as for the typing again, yeah, while gold is technically a metal, gold is technically a metal, I still think that rock typing also fits very well, and he was the best candidate for a Ghost Rock type in the hack. It's very unique. Ghost Steel's kind of boring in my opinion. It's very strong, but it's kind of boring. I like the Sandstream plus the rock typing better. It's cooler. It's better offensively, arguably, as well, which is kind of cool. Not that that's that important, but I just like it more this way. It's my ROM hack. It's self-indulgent. Sometimes I do things that I want. And it's also kind of a balancing decision as well. If he was Ghost Steel, he'd have to be a lot weaker and probably have worse HP and all this other stuff. So I don't know. I prefer this. He's the GOAT. So not only, getting back to what I was saying earlier about the customizability and running all these great different sets, another really important thing that you should keep in mind. Well, first of all, with Sandstream, you also have Sediment, by the way. I didn't mention that. You probably already know what that does by now if you watch all my videos, but if you don't, or you haven't checked out the description below, you haven't looked at all the move changes or the new moves, Sediment heals you by 2/3 HP in the sand. It's from Showrap, okay? So you get 2/3 HP in Sandstream, so that's incredible defensively as well for Cofagrigus if you're not running Soul Absorb for healing instead. Sediment is incredible. You also have King's Shield, which is fitting because, pharaohs and Egyptian like royalty was usually buried in coffins, I believe, in Sarcophagus or whatever. So I think King Shield is pretty cool. Very good utility move for him, obviously. I mean, that's incredible, especially because it wasn't nerfed yet. I think in Gen 8 it got nerfed to -1 attack. It's still -2 attack, so that's incredible because the AI doesn't know how to play around that, so you can just get free -2 attack, which is good because you kind of need to have these strong debuffing moves in a hack like this with powerful-ass Pokemon running around. Not to mention, any crit move will humble King Shield real quick because it's going to crit right through your attack drop, and there are tons of new moves that will always crit, so definitely give those a look in the description below in the move sheet. But yeah, otherwise he's got a lot of really cool stuff. Back to the customizability stuff though, your other ability is not nearly as useful on paper. It's Sinister, and Sinister makes you immune to fairy type moves. So essentially you'd be running Sandstream, say 70 to 80% of the time, right? But there's a lot of boss fights where, number one, sand might hinder you. Number two, maybe your other teammates, you know, maybe you want to run a different weather. Maybe you don't want the sand. Maybe you don't want chip on your Pokemon. Maybe you have a focus sash set for that boss fight and Sandstream would break your focus sash. Maybe you don't need a Spadef boost at all. Maybe there's a really powerful fairy type Pokemon on the opponent's team and you have no answer to it. Maybe you need a free switch in on a fairy type move, whatever. And maybe there's so many different things that, you know, you should consider. And especially in a team locked Nuzlocke where you can't just freely switch around your Pokemon, which is what I balance this hack around hardcore Nuzlocks. And I'm not saying I intend team locked, but that's what I'm going to be playing as, and that's what I would recommend people play. I think it's fun. You know, but of course, play however the hell you want, add all the Pokemon you want. You know, there's so many cool ass Pokemon, it would be kind of a shame also if you want to use all the cool ones to just go ahead and use everything. It's up to you. But for team locked Nuzlocke players, you know, you might need a fairy type answer for a certain boss fight. You might not have one already on your team. So having that ability capsule available to you from the beginning of the game, which is infinite use, you can easily tack on Sinister for those situations where Sinister is needed. And logically, Sinister fits very well. There was no other ability I could really think of that would fit Cofagrigus that was as useful as Sinister that isn't like kind of lame. Like the only other one would maybe be Solid Rock, but I don't really like buy the flavor of Solid Rock for him. I like the Fairy immunity. Although it would have been Levitate because technically he is levitating in his 3D model, but I don't know. I prefer Sinister. I think it's cool. I like giving more Pokemon Sinister. So yeah, really useful ability. And then of course Sandstream is beautiful. Yamask also much stronger, much bulkier. You guys already know the deal with the pre-evolutions. You know, this way keeping him to level 32 is much easier. Yeah, Spectral Attack is much better on Cofagrigus as well, so he's just incredibly bulky. I mean, I really cannot overstate how bulky he is now, just with the HP, the defense, and the Spadef and the sand. And you can also enable your teammates. You got Weather Ball for your teammates, which can get rocked up with the ball. Cofagrigus in general has great coverage now. He has very powerful stab moves like Mineral Shower and Spectral Beam, both of which are rock and ghost type versions of Draco Meteor, which are very strong. He has tons of good coverage, you know, Aura Sphere, Mystical Fire, Burning Malice, Scorching Sands, Earth Power, I don't know if I said that already, Flash Cannon, Energy Bolt, Thunderbolt, all kinds of good stuff, okay? He's got beautiful coverage, beautiful Pokemon, really fun. All the special rock type moves are also buffed. For example, Power Gem is 90, has a 1 in 4 chance to give you special attack. All these nice little small move buffs and changes are also pretty relevant here, but I'm not going to waste time talking about every single last one. Another thing that's worth mentioning is Spook. Spook is great. That is ghost type priority. So special ghost type priority. Special Shadow Sneak. That's a better way to put it. So that's really strong. That's really nice on a slow Pokemon like this. You also have Trick Room at level 60, which is really good. Because you are very slow, obviously, and Trick Room is actually neutral priority, so if you slap a Quick Claw on your Cofagrigus, Quick Claw is changed to disappear after, excuse me, my voice just got like clogged, throat, excuse me. I was saying Trick Room, yeah, Trick Room plus Quick Claw will trigger automatically, no matter what, and then it'll disappear after, so it's like a single-use priority move essentially with Quick Claw. So you can use Trick Room, Quick Claw, outspeed the taunt user, whatever. Now you got Trick Room up, and you can Parting Shot into your abuser, or you can obviously just abuse it yourself because you're strong and you have good dual stab and great coverage. So yeah, in general though, I would prefer running a bulkier set on this guy with like King Shield, Sediment, Sandstream, you know, swap on Sinister when you need it. That kind of thing would be super fun in my opinion, or like that Assault Vest set I said earlier. Bulkier sets I feel like are definitely needed in a hack with really strong Pokemon just running around everywhere. Like you're gonna need strong defensive cores to, you know, check those Pokemon and switch in on them a lot easier. And you know, you got Parting Shot or Volt Switch to pivot into your other Pokemon a lot easier as well. Otherwise, there's a couple other things I could quickly mention. Obviously, Setup, Nasty Block, Calm Mind, all this stuff is nerfed PP-wise, and just in general, the climate is a lot more hostile to set up. Mesmerize is huge. Mesmerize is a 100% accurate sleep move at level 65, which is very late into the hack. That will be mostly just for Minas, Trial, Hapu, Gladion, Elite Four, post-game stuff. But it's still very good, Mesmerize, and obviously it fits, you know, his eyes just give me that type of vibe. So that's really good. That's 100% accurate. Sleep is reworked to always last for 2 turns, so you can get 2 free turns of setup after. So I should definitely, I might have to end up restricting it somehow, because Quick Claw plus Sleep Move is kind of brainless, because then you bypass the taunt leads a lot of the time. So I have to rethink that sometimes. I don't know. I'll see how it is in the first run through. If it ends up being too overpowered, I'll just tweak it somehow, or just remove it from a lot of Pokemon. Either way, it'll be fine. Because, you know, every Pokemon does have 4 moveset syndrome in this hack, so you do have to very carefully consider your moves, because you only can reteach TMs and tutors. You cannot reteach leveled up moves until the end of the game, which is by design partially and by necessity partially, because I can't actually move the move deleter or move learner, excuse me. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more time talking about other stuff. There's a couple Omni boosting Z moves which are not that good because you are slow, but they are good because you become extremely bulky. You could use those with Trick Room too if you want it to be funny, but I don't know, it's not exactly the best thing in the world, but it can definitely make it work. You know, you can make a lot of things work. That's part of the benefit of this hack, is I've designed Pokemon to not only have 2 abilities that they cycle between and all kinds of fun new moves that they can cycle between, but like in general, you can really change around your builds with the EV items and just all types of different things that Pokemon can do. They can all be utility and they can all be offensive for the most part, with a couple exceptions. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you found these buffs interesting and entertaining, and hopefully you like them. I think Cofagrigus is super fucking cool, and these buffs are really awesome and they fit really well. Again, Sandstream. Also, I didn't mention why that fits, by the way. Number 1, he's a whole ass coffin, you know, ancient Egypt, all that stuff. You know, like Pharaoh vibes, and also he literally lives in the desert and there's a relic castle and stuff. So I think it fits very well. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody, and I'll be back for more Pokemon coming up. Peace.